One of the issues stipulated in the audit report is the fact that the Ministry of Defence was not allowing auditors to do investigations on its military capabilities or report on the NDF's readiness. Auditors were denied access to military equipment and operational bases, limiting the scope of the audit.
It's basically just for state security reason that we would want certain information to remain confidential. We are just implementers like them. You are the lawmakers. If it is so that we should give this information, it's just for our lawmakers to pass another law, because we also have the Defence Act that prohibits us to give certain information. And I think some of these laws are now crashing.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Public Accounts says there are a lot of ways to get around the matter, like vetting processes for both parties.
It is the Auditor General that determines the scope of the audit. It is never the institution.
The committee also wanted some clarity on the Defence Attaché's bank account in DRC, particularly regarding an amount of about 180,000 paid for spousal allowance, even though there was no Defence Attaché in that country.
The amount was picked up from the bank statement. The bank statement did say an amount of 1,000 that translates, I think, to 17 or 15,000, something, depending on the rate of the day, was for spouse, and it was only one payment. And that is what we were saying. We will send people to go and investigate, since there was no one there to be paid spouse allowance.
During the said financial year, there was a difference of more than $200 million between what was reported by the accounting officer and what was contained in the stock-taking report. The executive director in the ministry says the difference could not be investigated, largely due to the COVID-19 pandemic worsened by traveling restrictions. However, a report will be made available in the future. The committee was also very curious about a company owned by the Ministry of Defence called Dilimani Pyrotechnics Industries, registered with BIPA, and is responsible for making ammunition to be sold back to the ministry.
As we continue discussing, we realized it was premature, first of all, for the company to have been registered, and we have now deregistered, and it's now a project still having the same name as the band.
Asked how much the ministry spent on Dilimani Pyrotechnics Industries during the 2019 financial year, as well as the total expenditure to date on the ammunition-making company, Dr. Shivute said she was not prepared enough to be in possession of that kind of information, especially since the company is not in existence anymore. Francis Shahama, NBC News, Windhoek.